everyone. Welcome back to Black Tech Queens on Flags 365. My name's Karimah Campbell, and today I'm going to be interviewing another amazing tech queen. So, for those of you who are new to Black Tech Queens, let me tell you about our vision. It's all about inspiring each other and future talent. We want to help others to reach their aspirations and really recognize and celebrate our achievements. But don't let the name fool you. Not only Black Tech Queens can join, we want everyone involved. We want to build out our community of allies too, because ultimately, the more of us there are in the community, the stronger we will be together and the further we can get. So let's do this. Let's build out our community. Share this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn at Black Tech Queens. So guys, can you believe it? We're almost there. It's almost the end of the year. And what a year it's been. I know we all started it thinking, oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be like the good old days, like 2019. But unfortunately, it wasn't. We're still going through this pandemic. But no, it wasn't all doom and gloom. There has been some good stuff come out of it. It's really given us a chance to push forward with our passions and do the things that we've always wanted to do, but never quite had the time. Like I managed to start Black Tech Queens, and today's guest released her first children's book. So great things are happening there. But before I introduce her, I just want to do a bit of a plug. So as mentioned in the last video, we're going to be doing a virtual I Am Remarkable session, which will be sponsored by Black Tech Queens. And that's going to be on Wednesday, the 15th of December. And for those of you who don't know, I Am Remarkable is a Google initiative, which is all about empowering underrepresented groups, just to speak openly about their accomplishments in the workplace and outside, and helping to break any modesty norms and ultimately shatter that glass ceiling. So take the time to come, join, look back on the year and look at how remarkable you really are. And if you want any information about registering or just want to know more about the session, come to any of our social media platforms, and you can also find us on Eventbrite as well. Another thing to keep going with that kind of flow, early next year we're going to be doing a webinar looking about what the future has in store for technology and ultimately helping you with your 2022 goal setting as well. So watch this space. All right, so back to business. I'm going to introduce you to a queen. She's a product manager, she's an author, and a fellow EY alumni. So please welcome to the show, Tafana Caesar. Welcome.
Hello, good evening. Hi, everyone. I hope everyone's having a good, today's Wednesday, isn't hump day, and a good evening.
No, definitely. I can't believe we're almost wrapping up the year. Like, it's nearly finished.
Christmas is in 3 weeks. Well, no, less than that.
Cool. But thank you for joining us today. I really appreciate it. So I'm going to start how I normally start with all of our guests. I'm going to start by asking you to tell me about you. Who is Tafana?
Right. So I'm not going to speak about myself in the third person. It's quite, but I will say, my name is Tafana Caesar. So I'm currently a product manager at Sage. So Sage Group, the accounting firm. Well, sorry, the accounting software provider. I started my career in the Big Four as a tax advisor. So EY, I joined the graduate scheme EY. This is where I met Karimah, and we did some work with the EY Black Network there. I then moved on to KPMG in a tax technology role, and now I'm fully into being a product manager for a tech company, but with a finance focus. So yeah, that's me from a career perspective. I'm an author now. As of November, I launched my first children's picture book. It's called Carl the Capybara, and it aims at teaching 3 to 7-year-olds about stranger danger. So I do that on the side. I am also quite a creative person. So I draw, I write, anything creative I'm really into. It's my special place. And I try to bring a bit of that into my role as well. So I'll elaborate on that a bit further later about bringing your true self to your role. But yeah, and salsa dancer, kizumba dancer, beach volleyball player when it's warm. I try to keep my extracurricular life very, very busy, things I like to do, because we spend so much time at work. I want to live a fulfilling life outside of that. And I think everyone should take that approach, particularly Black women.
No, definitely. I'm guessing your beach volleyball playing is like on a proper beach, not on Brighton with the pebbles or anything.
It's in Crystal Palace, so it isn't a proper beach, but it does have sand. It's beach. It's got beach sand. There's no like river or sea or anything, but it's good to actually get on a sandy. It's actually pretty cool.
Oh, cool. Yeah. All right, so I know next year if I can't fly out, I'm just gonna go to Palace and build some sand castles there. It's fine.
Yeah, you just need to go and we lay out beanie bags and stuff in the summertime, and you can just we have reggae playing and stuff like that, and just pretend you're on a beach.
There you go. I'm definitely coming down. I'm coming down. So you mentioned that you started your career as a tax advisor. What made you transition into technology?
I've always been interested in technology. It's just that probably 10 years ago, I thought it was too late. By the time I got interested I was in my third year of uni. I was doing accounting and finance. Boring. But I thought that was the way to go. And by the time I'd moved into being a tax advisor, I'd done summer internship at EY. I got offered the job. It was a good opportunity to get a Big Four name on my CV and to get trained and to do my exams. So I kind of pushed technology to the side because I thought I didn't do software engineering. I don't know how to code. And back then, I think there was less, there were less jobs where you didn't have to code. You had to kind of come through the traditional route of I studied software engineering or I studied computer science, and now I'm in either a software house or I'm in the IT department of a business. It's a little bit different to now where technology is kind of permeating every single area, and you can go into technology without actually being from a tech background. So I kind of put that to the side. I started as a tax advisor, and then the world of tax technology started developing, and that's where I was like, okay, so I can do what I'm doing now and still do a soft transition, which is what I did.
So talk me through that transition.
So I was tax advisor, started doing capital allowances, corporation tax, and I used to have to spend a lot of my day in Excel analyzing data. And then there was an initiative from my team to create an AI to be able to do that work for us, so that we didn't have to spend time on, because as you can imagine, it can be very mundane going through lines and lines of a spreadsheet. And I got involved in training that AI, and that's where the kind of spark went off. That this is actually what I want to do. I did a secondment in a second team that were building technology from scratch, and I got involved as a business analyst there, and the rest is history. So we launched that, we took it to market, and then I moved. KPMG gave me an offer to come and join one of their tax technology teams, and I was able to do that. For I think I did that for 2 years. So it was, again, I had my background in tax, but I was doing technology. So every role I had, I made sure there was more and more of a technology element, to the point where now I'm not very tech. I utilize my knowledge in tax and accounting, but my role is the product, the actual software.
Cool. So it was a case of basically taking more and more each time you moved along.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. And I know, so with your first role going into like the tax, going into the technology side, did you have to do a lot of reading to, I guess, get yourself ready for that?
No, I mean, the good thing about that is I was in a big organization where a lot of people you work with teach you. So I was working with developers. I was working with people who'd been in technology for a long time on the technical side, and I was learning about the business side from like the partners and the marketing teams and stuff like that. So I got a really well-rounded experience in that I learned the technology side from the development guys, but I also, in my own spare time, if I wanted to learn about something, I went off and I learned about it. So, for example, OCR, I didn't know what that was, optical character recognition.
Mhm.
We were going to implement that in one of our software, and I just looked it up. I just started doing deep research on which ones were the best, how it was done, and I was able to implement that element into our software. Um, so it's a bit of learning from those around you, networking,
Mhm.
and also doing your own research if that's what you like. I personally like knowledge, and I kind of soak up things when I kind of start learning. So I always set aside time to do my own learning behind the scenes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's really good. That's really good. When I was scrolling through your LinkedIn, I saw that you've got like a lot of technical certifications now as well. So I'm guessing that's from your passion of knowledge.
I've just been collecting them. I think I like getting the actual certificate more than I like doing the course. I'm just one of those people. So, but it stood me well because I've been able to implement quite a few things. Python in particular, use it in my in my role with KPMG. I don't do much coding now, but I do side projects outside of work.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
With everything else that you're doing,
Yeah.
good on you. Good on you. Staying with the theme of those certifications and
Yeah.
like the learning that you were doing, did they cost a lot to do? Were they free? Did you find free resources?
I started with the free ones because I have, like many of us, I have the tendency to go head first in, and then you get burnt out, and then you're paying and you're not actually doing anything. So I started with W3 schools, and I think with EY we had access to Udemy, so we had free courses in Udemy. So I started some Python courses on Udemy, and we had free access to Pluralsight as well. So I started those. And then when I was familiar with where I wanted to go and how deeply I wanted to learn, I started at data camp.
Cool. You just gave me a flashback when you mentioned W3 schools. That site got me out of so many pickles in the past where I had
Oh yeah.
I was trying to put
See
in.
examples and try it for yourself. And it's like, oh, I can make it work. Okay, cool. I know it now. But
It's fine when you know what you're trying to achieve, but you just don't know the route to get to it. That was
exactly.
W3 schools.
Yeah.
Cool. So, as well as the technical skills that you were gaining, were there any soft skills that you felt really helped you with your transition?
Yeah. Working in Big Four, as you know, is quite a hectic environment. You have a lot of different stakeholders that you have to manage. And I think I mastered that quite quickly because my career has been in the Big Four for so long. I think that's one of my main strengths. I can kind of juggle different priorities from different stakeholders and prioritize things quite quickly. And I think that's, for a product manager, that is kind of key,
Yeah.
because you have developers, you have the business, you have marketing, you have you may have sales, UX design. You have to manage all of these expectations and manage the roadmap. Um, and it's difficult to do, but if you can master that, I think you have a road into many different tech roles and management roles.
Cool. So, what does obviously you're a product manager? What does the average day look like for a product manager?
Okay, so the average day would be managing roadmaps. So um, I I start my day by looking at my roadmap. So if I have particular products or elements of a product that I'm owning, so any migrations or integrations with external with so for example, Sage has acquired a few companies in the past to help with their offering. If there's any integrations on that, I will own the roadmap. I usually start my day by checking it, having a look and reprioritizing items. I might join sprint calls, I might join bug fixing calls. I may have a chat with the VPs and EVPs just to make sure that whatever strategy they see, the direction this product going in, that I'm incorporating that in the roadmap. So if they're saying a particular feature is key for them and their strategy going forward, I make sure that I disseminate that information throughout. There is also an element of if the engineering team or the marketing team would come to me as first point of contact if they have a blocker or priorities have changed or something else, and it's my role to unblock all of that, speak to the correct people, get everyone in alignment, so that make sure we meet our deadlines, and we don't go over our deadlines, or we're too late. If we can't meet the deadline, it's then finding a workaround or finding an alternative way of doing the same thing for the clients. And a big part of that is looking at what our customers are saying. So getting feedback from the customers, and then also feeding that back into the roadmap. So there's a lot of very technical elements that you need to juggle, but I'm the type of person, I like variety, and it lends itself really well to being a product manager.
Yeah, no, it sounds really interesting. And I can really see where the management of multiple stakeholders comes in handy, because, yeah, sounds a lot. Cool. So, obviously, that's your day job now. But I want to talk about the fact that you are an author. So, tell us about the book.
I had a copy somewhere here.
I'm calling for my signed copy. I'm just throwing that out there.
Okay, I'll get it for you. So the book is called Carl the Capybara. It's about a capybara is an animal that lives with. It's a large rat. Listen, hear me out. It's very cute. But it lives in the Amazon, and I'm Guyanese, so I'm it's one of the animals that are quite close to my heart. So Carl Capybara is the first book in a series. So it's about Amazonian animals. And Carl goes on an adventure. His parents keep telling him to, pay attention to what's going on around you, don't speak to strangers, etc. And Carl is determined, like most of us when we're younger, to go out and do his own thing. So he sneaks off when they're having a nap, and he goes and tries to make friends with these other animals. And I won't give away what happens, but it doesn't work out as he planned. So it's basically teaching children what happens when you stranger danger. What happens when you speak to strangers, and what could happen? What are the repercussions? Except when you're away from your parents and you're speaking to strangers.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a I've got a 10-part series. The next one will be about a pink river dolphin. So I'm in the process of writing that, and I'm also in the process of translating the existing Carla Capybara book into Spanish and Portuguese.
Fantastic. That is fantastic. What's the message of the next book?
I'm not sure yet.
You know the animal, but you're still.
I know the animal. It's just getting a story around that. I've drafted a few things, but I haven't finalized anything just yet.
Cool.
It will most likely be something around the theme of accepting a disability.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. You could. I'm just throwing it out there. You could do one about getting into technology, inspire the kids from there.
That could work. I've got 9 more animals to write about.
Just not a rat, please. Like, make technology.
I have to show you. You have to look up the capybara. They're cool. They're pretty calm.
I must say, I googled it, and I was just like, no, it's still not.
I think the fact that they don't have a tail kind of makes them a little cuter than.
I'm alright.
The book makes them cute. They look cute in animation.
The illustration on the book looks cute. That's the main thing about it. The real one. In the Amazon.
Yeah, the illustrator had a really hard job. I think I've given her some animals where I think I don't know how you're gonna make this cute, but try.
Oh, bless. But obviously that was a huge achievement, and I'm so proud of you for that.
Oh, thank you. That was about 6 years in the making. I was so terrified to release a book. I don't know why. I was just fearful. It's like no one's gonna want to buy it. It's not gonna be what I want it to be. And yeah, I let a lot of things hold me back. But yeah, that's the one thing positive thing I think that came out of the pandemic. I was able to commit to doing that.
Yeah, no, good. And I don't know if you've seen on our Instagram yet, but we've literally got people tagging for you to put the book on.
I did see, yeah.
So
I'll have a look at that.
Good. So yeah, with that being a great achievement, can you tell me about your biggest achievement to date? Is it the book? Is it something different?
Oh, the book is up there. Is it work-wise?
Anything.
Or in general? Well, the book is definitely up there. I put myself out there with the book, and that has been a huge achievement getting that done. Going through the whole process, people don't understand how people think. Okay, you just need to write a story, you just get someone to draw some pictures, and you're good.
Mm.
It's a lot harder than that. Um, it's a lot more involved. You have to get a book formatter, a copywriter. You have to get someone who understands your vision of what the animals look like. You have to get a marketing strategy in place. The bit I'm learning the hard way um, about doing it early and all of that. So that is my biggest. I think. What else can I think of? Scuba diving.
Okay.
I Yeah, I got my scuba diving qualification, PADI, open water, a
Okay.
couple of years ago, and I was quite pleased because I'm not a very good swimmer.
Yeah. Good enough. Good on you. Good. That's a challenge there. Good on you. Not being able
Yeah,
to swim that
yeah,
strong. Still do that.
yeah. And work-wise, there have been there have been I think, some really good accomplishments at work, but they've gladly my personal life has overshadowed all of that, which I don't mind.
Yeah. No, that's good. Like you can smash it in work, but as you said at the beginning, make sure you still got your passions
Yeah,
and still remember who you are deep down.
yeah. It'll keep you sane
Hmm.
when work is not going that great, as we all have that time when work isn't going that great. You're not enjoying yourself.
Hmm.
Whatever you do outside of work will help with that. Decompressing, not thinking about work all the time. And if you got to finish at 5, do your drawings. Finish at 5 to do your drawings.
Hmm. Yeah. So that leads nicely on to the next question. Obviously, with all your passions and that busy role that you have as well, how do you handle the work-life balance?
Um, I think I don't know if it's maturity, or let me not say age, maturity, or something else. But I have had a change in mentality in the last couple of years. When I started, I used to be on a 6 o'clock train to work. I'd be in late. I'd work late. I'd be in early. I was miserable. I was not very happy, and I didn't feel very valued. I didn't don't think I got much thanks for it.
Yeah.
Um, and in some ways, that was my fault because I did not set those boundaries to myself. So I think in the last 5 or 6 years, I have seriously started to say, okay, Tafana, what is it you want to do? Whatever job you have, what is it you want to do um, outside of work? What accomplishments do you want? And I just make sure I have a very productive day, and then I sign off when I need to sign off, unless there's something burning that's happening, a bug that's affecting customers or something like that. I'm signing off. If
Very
it's not needed, the first thing I ask is, if someone says, "Oh, everything," someone comes with a big priority, something's happening, we need to do this or that.
much.
Does it need to be done today, or can it be done? Can we make a plan and do it in the next couple of days? Just say next couple of days. I'm not staying up.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it's having that boundary and saying, I at one point I was waking up early to do coding, and then in the evening I would do my creative stuff like my art and did write the book, or sign off some drawings or stuff like that. Um, I just had to do that for my own sanity, and I still do that today. I literally have my lunch hour. It's in my diary and it's on out of office. I've learned the hard way that you know you burn yourself out really quickly.
Mhm.
Um, it doesn't matter if you love your job. You could love your job and you'll still be burnt out at some point if you just keep going all the time.
Yeah.
Um, and I set that expectation with my employers as well. If a meeting is moved from 4 o'clock and until 7 o'clock, can we record it? I'll listen to it tomorrow and I'll feed in. But I'm not staking around until 7 o'clock. I've been working since 8.
Mhm.
So set your boundaries, and that'll be different for everyone. You don't have to do what I do,
Mhm.
but sit down and have a kind of a one-to-one with yourself and ask yourself, you know, what would make me happy? What do I want to do? And you make a plan for yourself, and then you let people know at work, and you then follow through.
Okay.
That's the only advice I can give for work-life balance. Some people love working.
Mhm.
And my mother loves to work. I don't know what, she just loves it. So she happily does extra hours, which is fine. It doesn't work for me. So and I had to come to that realization.
Yeah. So when you set the boundaries, have you experienced someone like pushing back on you against them? And
Yeah,
if
you get
you handle,
pushback. People will put in meetings sometimes, please make accommodations. No. I'm like, no, unless this is something that is, there's levels. Every time someone comes up with something, they think it's a priority. In truth, everything can't be a priority.
yeah,
So it's just you kind of gauging that situation and gauging that situation with them, and then finding a way forward. Now, once in a while, I understand there are things that'll do that, and I'm happy to do it once in a while, but
mm,
it's never, I've not made it a habit.
yeah. Well, I think that's fair enough. Fair
Yeah.
enough. So, I've got some questions from our community.
Yeah.
And I think that the first one actually works really nicely with what you just said about pushing back
Hmm.
and where people aren't necessarily respecting your boundaries.
Hmm.
But have the first question is, what barriers have you faced in your career?
One of the main ones is opportunity. People don't always give you the opportunity. You can have the best intentions and do the best from your side, um, and people don't always give you the opportunity to shine and to, you know, get stuck into something meaty. That I think is the main barrier for my that I've experienced, and I think it probably rings true across the diaspora that we don't. The opportunities can sometimes seem, everyone's happy with your work, but they're not giving you that push, that next level to where you want to get to. So that's the barriers I've had. Overcoming them, always find I can always find a way around. That's the mentality I've always had. I will always find a way around. Now it could be that in my day job with my team, I want to do XYZ project. I want to learn to code. I want to get involved. They don't want me to do it. It's fine. I will go to another team and spend some time with them, spend a few hours and get on projects, um, and do side projects for other people if my team isn't doing it. There's always a way around it,
Yeah,
and you need to make use of your network and your contacts and be able to do that. Um, Even if it means, as for myself, when I wanted to learn to code, I spent 2 hours. I committed to 2 hours a day of learning Python, and I
cool.
went off. I did the 2 hours. I went on Kaggle. I joined some beginner competitions, lead code and start to scratch. They have monthly competitions where they give you a coding challenge every day,
Yeah,
and you can win prizes and stuff like that. And I just 2 hours every day. It could be during work, if they allow me to do it on something that I'm currently working on. But if not, it could be in the morning. It can be in the evening.
no, that's really good. That dedication's really paid off, so that's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the challenge that you just mentioned, do you get to meet the other people who are doing it? So can you build a network through that?
Yeah, you can. Some of them you can do the challenges yourself, or you can team up with other people. So it's a good way to do things that way. If you don't have all the expertise to be able to do something, you can team up with other people. Um, they're really good communities for coding, and there's also really good communities like Black Girls Code and Coding Black Females, TLA Women in Tech. At the moment there's so many networks for Black women in particular. I
Yeah,
think people should really make use of all of it.
no, absolutely. I think you can never have too
Too
big a net.
many.
Yeah, seriously,
Yeah.
because you never know how you can help someone and how someone can help you down the line as well.
Yeah, and they also have really good opportunities for learning. So I joined one of their machine learning courses. It was over 6 weeks, and someone Chib did some work on that. Um, and you can apply for it's not a scholarship, it's a membership to BCS, things like that. So they always have partnerships, nano degrees, little courses that you can go on to kind of shore up your understanding. And it's really good it's a good environment to learn as well, because everyone's in the same, more or less the same boat as you are.
Yeah, no, good. And what I found is no one judges you in those kind of
No,
areas. because as you said, everyone's in the same boat as you, or someone's been there at least for one point in their career.
Yeah, and people are very open to helping. You can post a question and say, "Has anyone got experience with XYZ?" And people will say, "DM me," or "Let's have a chat," or something like that. And I've offered myself on product management side where people wanted to get into product management, and they've messaged me, and I've talked them through, pointed them in the direction of any resources and stuff like that. It's really good. It's a really good supportive way to kind of share. We've had people who've referred others for jobs and stuff like that if they match any job postings at their current company. It's a really good environment, and make the most of it, because 10 years ago we didn't have any of this.
There you go. Yeah, I could have counted the number of black people who worked in technology.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd see. I imagine we used to walk and we see someone and you just give them the head nod, because
You did a nod. I still did a nod. You did a lot.
yeah, you just do the nod. Like, I see you. I know I'm probably not gonna see you for the rest of the year, but I see you right now.
Exactly. So, as well as like all these amazing people who you met through your network and your journey, can you tell us who your role model is?
I don't have met. There's well, I can't say I don't have met. I think there are so many people to role models now that it's quite hard to pick just one person. Like Charlene Hunter of Coding Black Females, I look up to her. There's Aisha Bowen. Um, there's Ayuri. I think Selassie is her last name. There's so many people within whatever area you like. I'm now looking at machine learning and AI. So I've reached out to her to help my understanding with that. I've reached out to Charlene before to help with bits and pieces. There are so many people, and it's quite hard to pick exactly one person. At different stages of my career, I've looked up to different people, and now that I'm going into ML, I'm part of Black Women in AI, and I'm really looking at people there to see how they got into AI and ML, because that's going to be my next step.
Cool. What inspired you to get into machine learning now?
Well, remember my spark was about a machine learning model that for the tax advisor role when they were building that machine learning, and I helped train it. That was the spark. It's also somewhere I see going, developing a lot in the future, and I would like to get involved in doing that. It can make because I'm so passionate about automation and making mundane tasks a bit more exciting and stuff like that. It's kind of the next step in that process.
Fantastic. Cool. That's exciting. Things are coming. That's really good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good time to be looking for a job in tech. The market has exploded rapidly. So there's loads out there for anyone who wants to get into tech.
Good. And as you've shown through all of this, you can use your initial skill set. You can use your knowledge from your degree or whatever it is that you were really interested in to help you through your tech career.
Really I mean, it's as easy as these days. It's as easy as, even if I'm I could be a receptionist and I'm sending out email notifications and stuff like that. I can automate that if I wanted to. So I think people, and I'm guilty of this, start looking at where you are and then you look at where you want to be, and it seems so far away, and we forget that there are so many steps in between that you can take. And one of them is, in my current role, what do I not like doing, and how can I automate it? And you can go off as a side project and figure out how do I automate email notifications? And you can do that and kind of get yourself in that tech mentality. You can even put your code on GitHub and show future employees what you've been doing, because they like to see practical examples sometimes. And that's where you can start. You don't necessarily have to jump. People think you have to jump from, okay, I'm a tax advisor, I now have to go find a job at Google to say I'm in tech. There's so many levels to this now. And if you don't want to code, you don't have to. I personally like coding. Well, let me just say, I like Python. There's some programming languages I do not like. I like Python, so I'm happy to continue learning and doing side projects and increasing my knowledge. But if that's not where your strengths lie, you can find other ways.
Absolutely. There's so many options in technology. There's so many.
Yeah.
And
there's so many influencers as well. You can Instagram, TikTok, you can see so many people who are showing you how to get into tech without coding.
Exactly. Yeah. So tell me, what's next for you then?
Machine learning.
So we've got the book series coming. We've got the next book in the series coming. We've got you gonna smash it in machine learning.
Well, I'm supposed to start a master's in January. Let's in AI, artificial intelligence. So let's see how that goes.
Like, you kept that quiet.
I wasn't sure. I was going through the application process, etc. So I wasn't too sure when I would start or whether I'd defer it to September or something. But I've decided to go ahead. So
go for it. Good.
Yeah. Let's see.
Fantastic. Okay, so we're gonna have to start wrapping up. But I asked all of my guests, is there any advice that you'd like to share with any Black tech queens who are either trying to further their career or break into technology? I know you shared some amazing gems about getting in and transitioning, but what's your takeaway?
Yeah. So in addition to looking in your current role, seeing what you can do there or whether you can go on a secondment somewhere else, you also have to know what area you want to be in to some extent. I just want to get into tech is just not specific enough. You have to kind of speak to people, like listen to Black tech queens, see what different people are doing in their career, whether it suits you, whether you like it, whether you don't, whether it plays to your strengths, etc. Yeah, so you do some deep research and figure out what your strengths are, and then try to match those to a position in tech, and then go from there. But use other people, use your network, use support. I can't say that enough. You can try to do it all on your own, but it'll take a lot longer than actually trying to speaking to others.
Cool, that's fantastic. That's advice there. So thank you for sharing that. All right. So in our bio on the YouTube, you'll see there's a write-up about everything of the way that you can follow what Tafana's doing. You can find out about Colin, that's the wrong name.
No worries, Carl the Capybara.
Yeah. So you can find out more about Carlin, where you can buy the book. And you can also find out all the Instagrams and everything there. But I do just want to say a huge thank you for joining us today. Really appreciate it.
No worries. It's been good to be on, and thanks for reaching out to me.
No worries at all. No worries at all. And for everyone who's watching, remember to follow us, Black Tech Queens, on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And make sure that you subscribe to the page, share this video with everybody, and just interact with us. We definitely want to hear from you. And most importantly, enjoy the winter break. Take some time out for yourself and just relax. All right?
And eat some food.
Yeah, that too. All right, see you all soon. Bye.